Welcome to the Daily Plunge. We are working our way through the Epistle to the Romans. We're in chapter 16, and we're going through verses 1 through 16. Now, this chapter is sort of like a flyby chapter. A lot of folks just pass over it, but there's a lot in here that we need to pay attention to. First, we come upon Phoebe, who is a deacon. She's a leader. And Paul says to receive her in the Lord, which means to receive her in the Spirit of Jesus Christ in a way that's worthy of the church, right? And to give her any help she may need. And so, because she's a benefactor, she was blessing other people, including Paul himself. And then he goes on to Priscilla and Aquila and how they were co-workers, right, with Paul. They risked their lives. And not only Paul, he says, but all the other churches are grateful. There's a gratitude for the work they've done, the work of ministry they've done. Greet the church that meets in their house. Then we have Mr. E, first convert to Christ in the province of Asia. Greet Mary, who worked hard. Then there's Andronicus and Junia, fellow Jews, who also were imprisoned for the faith, right? Outstanding among the apostles. Now, they're not part of the 12. So what does Paul mean by they're outstanding amongst the apostles? That they're missionaries, right? They see the big picture of the church like Paul does. And he says they were believers before I even was, right? And then we get to Ampliatus, Urbanus, another co-worker. Greet Apelles, whose loyalty to Christ has been tested, and he endured and persevered, right? Then he talks about the household of Aristobulus. Greet Herodion, fellow Jew. And then I love this one, the household of Narcissus. And that even the narcissists are being converted to faith. Rather than idolizing and worshiping themselves, they're worshiping God. Now, one of the things to note in almost all of these is the phrase, in the Lord, in Christ, fidelity to the Lord. You know, that each of these people has a passion for the Lord, that the Lord is living in them, and they are abiding in Christ. And this is the nature of their calling. And, you know, these people are serving other Christians. These people are leaders by virtue of their servanthood, so that they are servant leaders. And they are servant leaders because first and foremost, they are followers of Jesus. They're obedient to Christ, and that's what empowers them to be leaders to others. And how much more is that the model for leadership in the church? It's not about your degree or how much education you have or the amount of money you have or what success you have in the world. The ultimate measure of leadership in the church is, first, do you have a profound faith in Christ Jesus? Do you follow Jesus, obey Jesus, so that you can serve him by serving and leading others? Now he goes on, he talks about other, Tryphena and Trophosia, who are, again, women who are leaders. Persis, another woman who has worked very hard in the Lord. You know, again, there are all these women who are being lifted up as models of ministry and leadership. And one of the things to see is that it's not just Paul, that Paul couldn't do all this by himself, is that it takes a lot of people to do the ministry. And, you know, all of them are supporting and working hard to bring about the ministry of the church. And so the question is, for all of us, how are we helping others to hear the gospel? Well, thanks, friends. Have a blessed day.